and welcome to the eFresh.com Dairy News. Today is the 10th of September, and these are this week's headlines. Dairy farmers deplore EU failure. Protect dairy industry from wildcat strikes. Fonterra backs off public listing. Government spends billions on powdered milk importation. FNPL launches Made in France logo. European dairy farmers deplored the failure of EU agriculture ministers to find the answers to the crisis in their sector, which has sent milk prices plummeting. The 27 EU nations remain divided over whether to take action to mitigate the effects of a gradual phase-out of milk quotas by 2014-2015. A big minority of nations insist the milk sector must be liberalized. European farmers have stepped up protest in recent months over the drop in dairy prices, pouring liters of milk onto streets in front of government offices and using cows to block roads. In November, the ministers agreed to lift milk production quotas by 1% per year before scraping them altogether in 2014 and 15. The European Commission has agreed to introduce targeted aid to the sector, but has refused to go back on its decision to scrap the quota system. Dairy product prices have collapsed due to low demand caused by the financial and economic crisis. Since 2007, milk prices have in some countries halved. Farmers in France, Germany, and other European countries are demanding support through financial aid or by limiting supplies. New Zealand's second biggest dairy manufacturer, Open Country Cheese, says a government should declare dairying an essential industry to protect it from wildcat strikes. The company was responding after workers at the Open Cheese's factory this week voted to walk off the job. The company's chairman called on the government to step into the dispute. He said that the government should recognize New Zealand's essential industries in labor negotiations. He claimed that laws that stopped companies from replacing striking workers with alternative labor were an unfair restriction for dairy processors. The union this week accused Open Country Cheese of setting up a sham employment agency to establish a number of on-call and temporary staff to undermine union negotiations, and had compromised the quality of the factory's product. New Zealand-based dairy giant Fonterra Cooperative Group Limited has ruled out a public share listing as part of its capital raising plans. Fonterra chairman Henry van der Heyden said many of the cooperative's farmer shareholders made it clear they wanted to retain 100% farmer control and ownership. Van der Heyden said that taking a public listing off the table is a pragmatic, common-sense approach which reflects how the shareholders feel. It would be a waste of time and money to debate the merits of a public share listing when there is no prospect of securing a 75% vote. Under Fonterra's constitution, any changes to capital structure require 75% voter support. The New Zealand-based cooperative is responsible for more than a third of international dairy trade. The Nigerian Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources said that the federal government spends $1.5 billion on the importation of vegetable oil and powdered milk annually. The minister found it ironic that the government spends as much as $1.5 billion on dairy products, while the main source of foreign exchange earnings is facing such difficulties. He vowed to change this ugly development, stating that careful study had been undertaken in the areas of agricultural input services, marketing infrastructure, climate change and employment, and wealth creation as integral parts of agricultural development in Nigeria. He expressed the hope that in the next few years, Nigerians will not spend more than 10% of their income on food. The Federation of French Milk Producers, the FNPL, has announced the launch of a logo to encourage consumers to buy milk produced, collected, and processed in France. The logo, French Milk Producers, will appear on the packaging of lowest price milk from September 21st, before being extended to retailers' own brands and to dairy products such as Emmental. France's leading milk marketing grouping, Orlais, whose principal shareholder is Sodiel, has been quick to give its backing to the FNPL initiative and has also created an I Love Milk From Here label. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Dairy News. See you next time.